What is going on, guys? Hey, I wanted to come back to you. And I wanted to bring you an interview between Jonathan Karl from ABC's This Week on Sunday morning and Senator Tom Cotton out of Arkansas. And man, I love to see these kinds of interviews because Tom Cotton would not allow Jonathan Karl to get away with nothing. But guys, watch this.
That's pretty remarkable that the Democratic Party has become so radical under Kamala Harris that a member of the Kennedy family has come out to endorse a Republican.
I don't know if Bobby Kennedy Jr. at this point is that representative of the Kennedy family, but I want to get to that in a second. But first, there are reports. There's obviously a bit of a momentum change here. You see it in the polls. You see it in the money flowing in to the Harris campaign. And there was a report in Politico that Trump now knows that he has to change things up or that he could lose. You talked to him. I mean, what's your sense? Do you need a change in direction?
Well, President Trump and his campaign has known all along, and they've said all along, that this race is going to be a close race.
Actually, he said it would be a landslide, just to be clear. He said he was going to win in a landslide.
But look, we know the race will probably come down to a few 100,000 votes in a few states. President Trump has been campaigning hard and vigorously now for months. Obviously, that's going to increase in its pace as we get closer to the election. And President Trump is going to draw a sharp contrast with Kamala Harris, who has supported things like decriminalizing illegal immigration or giving taxpayer-funded health insurance to illegal aliens or taking away health insurance on the job for 170 million Americans, banning gas cars, confiscating firearms.
What do you mean taking away health insurance? What are you talking about?
She said when she ran for president that she wants to eliminate private health insurance on the job for 170 million Americans, John.
Yeah, I mean that is not her position now.
How do you know that's not her position? How do you know that's not her position?
I mean, she says she no longer supports Medicare for all.
She has not said that.
Again, the hypocrisy. I mean, look what's happening. You know, again, you can't bring up Tom Cotton, can't bring up the fact that Kamala Harris, when she ran for president 4 years ago, can't bring up that she wants to get rid of or wanted to get rid of private health insurance. You can't say anything about that, but John can bring up the fact that Trump said he would win in a landslide. Again, the hypocrisy is ridiculous. You can say anything you want about Trump. You can bring up anything about him from, again, 50 years ago. But, again, don't you dare say that Kamala is behind getting rid of private health insurance. Don't you dare say that.
Maybe anonymous aides on a Friday night have said that, but the last thing that she said.
But this was not a radical convention. I mean, she, as you heard me go through with Bernie Sanders, she is not taking the positions of the far left of her party. She's clearly making an effort to move to the middle.
I did hear what you said to Senator Sanders, and yeah. I thought it was clear that he's very disappointed that she's taking these efforts not to change her positions, but to hide her positions, John. The American people are totally justified to conclude that Kamala Harris is a dangerous San Francisco liberal based on what she campaigned on the last time she ran for president and what this administration has done for the last 4 years. Again, you would have thought watching the Democratic convention last week that the Democrats are not in office, that they're not in power, that they're campaigning against an incumbent Republican, when in reality, she's been part of the failures of the Biden-Harris administration for 4 years. And when
we got to understand, people like Kamala Harris, man, again, they're dangerous. They are dangerous folks. Again, she is not going to do anything to help you, not going to do anything to help me. She has got the southern border wide open, wide ass open, letting everybody in. We don't know who they are. She's letting everybody in. And on top of that, again, she's going to give them health insurance. She's going to take away, at least that's what she ran 4 years ago, take away your private health insurance with your employer. We have truly got to understand what's going on here. They're attempting to turn this country into a socialist dictatorship. And again, that's what's happening. We have truly got to open our eyes up. Again, America as we knew it will be no more. No more. And people like Kamala Harris again, she raised money 4 years ago for the Black Lives Matter protesters so they could get out of jail, bail money. And Tim Walz, well, he looked the other way while they burned down stores, police stations, while they burned them down and refused to call the National Guard. Again, these folks are going to do nothing for this country except for allowing it to burn.
That's his position she's clearly changed on, and she has said she has changed. Yes, she has.
She has not. John, she has not said that. She's not. You pointed out, Senator Sanders, repeatedly things that her campaign has said. Anonymous aides speaking on background to reporters has said, well, she no longer believes these things. Okay, maybe she has changed her position on things like taking away your health insurance and confiscating your gun. If she has changed her position, she owes it to the American people to come out and say in her own words when she changed and why she changed. That's one reason why she needs to address the American people and speak to these questions, because the only basis they have to conclude what she will be like as president is what she's done for 4 years in this administration and what she said in her own voice in the last campaign. Remember, these are not like college essays, John. This is what she said when she was campaigning for president as a 54-year-old woman. If she's had such a radical change of heart in the last 5 years, she owes the American people answers.
So speaking of radical changes of heart, I want to ask you about what Donald Trump had to say just a couple of days ago.
Man, these people, they don't care. These people don't care about being impartial. Not at all. And again, they're not. They're in the pocket of the Democratic Party. They truly are. They're far leftist. I mean, in no way, shape, or form. I mean, you saw John right there. I was like, well, what about Trump? What about Trump with this? Aha! No, again, man, these people truly make me sick.
Donald Trump had to say just a couple of days ago. He said, and this is an exact quote statement he put out, "My administration will be great for women and their reproductive rights." Is he now going to be campaigning on abortion rights? What's going on here?
He will be great for women. He was great for women. Women had great opportunities under Donald Trump. You had a healthy, growing economy. You had safe communities, and you had.
But I'm asking you about the reproductive rights.
Well, Democrats can use phrases like reproductive rights all they want to describe their pro-abortion position, which would force Americans to pay with tax dollars for abortion up to the moment of birth. That's the Democratic position.
I mean,
they can use that phrase if they want to. They don't get a monopoly. They don't get a monopoly on the language to cover up their radical positions.
But I just asked you, it's now Trump using those words.
But he's
reproductive rights. He's also said, we also heard from J.D. Vance, that he would veto a national abortion ban, and he came out against using the Comstock Act to prevent the shipping of the abortion pill. So what is happening? I mean, in fact, he said just the other day, he suggested that he may support the amendment on the ballot in Florida to provide a constitutional right to an abortion. I mean, what is happening with Trump on abortion?
So, John, I think you just made a very important point. The only candidate here proposing a national abortion law is Kamala Harris. And we know what that law looks like because congressional Democrats have voted on it. It would require taxpayer funding for abortion up to the moment of birth.
That's not their law. They want to codify Roe v. Wade.
No, that's not at all. That's what they say about their law, John.
I'm asking you about Donald Trump, though.
So first off,
you have a solid pro-life record for as long as you've been in public office. What do you make of what he is saying now, saying he is going to be protecting reproductive freedom, and then he could even support a constitutional amendment in Florida,
first off,
legalizing abortion?
I voted on the law. You didn't. It does not codify Roe. It goes far beyond what Roe says. It would provide taxpayer funding for abortion up to the moment of birth. Donald Trump has been consistent. He said that Roe v. Wade was wrongly decided. Before Roe v. Wade, this question was largely regulated by the states. Now that Roe v. Wade has been reversed, it will be again largely regulated by the states.
I mean, that is what we want, right? To be regulated by the states. Again, if you live in a blue state, you can get abortions, where you get your morning coffee, I guess. But I mean, the thing is, we have truly got to recognize, man, that there's no right to get an abortion wherever. You know, again, not saying that abortion should be illegal. I'm not saying that. I think a lot of people aren't saying that. You know, again, there are a lot of people that are very much against abortion. And again, I am to a degree. I truly am. I'm against it. But if you want to kill your kid, have at it. I mean, really, that's what you're doing. You're killing your kid. You know, again, I think certain things are cruel and certain things are wrong. And if they're going to ask me to vote on something, I would say no. But, I mean, the fact of the matter is, man, Kamala Harris is wanting us to pay for abortion up till birth. I mean, can you guys understand just how evil that is? I mean, just in itself. I mean, you know, they could be born, 5 hours later, but they're going to abort that baby and kill it. I mean, that right there is truly evil. There's no other way around it. It's evil. And, again, that is just, I mean, look at John right there on ABC. These people, every single one of them, they're truly evil.
I also want to ask him something else that Trump had to say recently, is saying that the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is something presidents give out. I mean, Trump gave one to Devin Nunes, the former congressman, is the equivalent and much better than the Medal of Honor, which of course is the practically, as you know, as a combat veteran, sacred. I mean, it is the nation's highest military honor. I mean, what do you make of that?
God, it's totally taken out of context.
It's not taken out of context.
The point he was making is that he gives the Presidential Medal of Freedom, just like other presidents do, to civilians who have done important things for their nation, but who haven't sacrificed life and limb. And when you go to a Medal of Honor ceremony at the White House and you're presenting it to a soldier who's sacrificed his body, or to his parents, or to his children, or his spouse, that it is of a different order of magnitude. It's totally out of context. Donald Trump was
Do you agree that the Presidential Medal of Freedom is much better? Those are his words.
John, it was you're totally taking that out of context. Donald Trump was great for our military. He is great for our veterans. Kamala Harris is the one who's proposed, for instance, to cut the military every single year. Kamala Harris is the one who voted for military cuts when she was in the Senate. Donald Trump has utmost respect for our veterans and our troops, and you see that by his record in office.
So again, you're going to put Donald Trump's record up against Communist Kamala Harris? Really? You know what? Again, I think we all know how that's going to come out. What is going to come out in the wash with that one? I think we all know. But the fact of the matter is, man, these people will do anything they can to look for something to tarnish Trump with. It's never really worked. Never.
And before you go, I want to ask you about something else Trump said. This is about the 2020 election. It's something I have never heard him say before.
This was the last week in office for me because of a horrible, horrible election where I got many millions more votes than I got the first time, but didn't quite make it, just a little bit short.
But short, is he now finally acknowledging the truth about the 2020 election, that he lost?
Well, John, what he is saying there is that there are a lot of irregularities. He challenged them in court. Those court challenges didn't succeed. It's as simple as that. It's what he's saying about this election.
No, he had said before it was stolen, and he had many millions and more votes than Joe Biden. All stuff that isn't true. You know, we've been over this. I mean, he's...
Well, look, I mean, obviously Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are the president and vice president. They're in the White House. That's why people are suffering so badly. His court challenges did not succeed. That's the only point he's making there.
Okay. Well,
again, I think all of us know from what Trump was saying. He was saying in the fictitious count, they came up short. He was kind of poking fun at that fake count. I think is what he's saying. Again, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think that's what he was saying. But guys, we truly gotta be honest. They will stop at nothing to smear this man. They will do whatever again, these folks are evil. John, whatever his name is, man, he's evil. Look at him. Little squirrely bastard. They're evil people. They are truly evil people. You know, yeah, man, look at George Stephanopoulos. They're all evil. George Stephanopoulos. I mean, every single one of them, they're evil. We truly have to recognize that. And again, we have to recognize these folks are what they are. And that's why Trump has called them the fake news, fake media, whatever, over the years. Because again, they aren't fair. They are not fair at all. And again, right now, the Kamala Harris, whoever is running on the Democratic ticket, but especially against people like Trump. I mean, Trump is not he's not part of the establishment. They can't control him. So again, they fear him. They fear him. They fear people like RFK. They fear people like Vivek Ramaswamy. And you can tell. You can tell. But again, we truly have to recognize, man, these folks are evil. But hey, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks. You son of a.